Hello everyone, welcome back to Moonfire Studios. This is a little bonus video for the Dragons Oriental style Asian inspired journal. I am going to make a bookmark with a really cool playing card that I got from wonderful Red Apron Vintage, Deb. I will link her Instagram down below. And the printables are from Rickety Snippets. And I happen to be on her design team, which I'm incredibly thankful for. So she has a huge, mega junk journal gold edition kit that has all of these wonderful background pages, all of these beautiful dragons, all of these beautiful florals, and there are neutrals in there. There are wispy things, there are collages, there are tickets, there are tags, there are pockets, anything and everything just about that you could think of is in there. So I highly recommend picking it up, not only for the dragon images, which there are not only Oriental and Asian themed styles, there are sky dragons, there are Welsh type dragons, there are wyverns and wingless ones, there's horns, there's ones with long flowy beards, there's cute little baby dragons. Oh my gosh, they are so adorable. I really want to do a cute little baby dragon book. It would just be so stinking cute. And she's got really beautifully designed dragon eggs and pages of florals and ephemera, and there's articles and tickets. Like I said, there are faux washi tape and belly bands and just so many things. So I would take an hour just explaining it all to you. But if you would like to see my take on it, I will also link that. It's the Oriental Dragon playlist. It's also in my Rickety Snippets playlist for all of her different design papers and things like that. But right now we are going to make, like I said, a really cool bookmark. So I want one of these things, charms. And you can use a playing card like I am. If you don't have a playing card, you can print out one of her tags, and it doesn't have to be on thick paper. I'm going to use this ribbon here. I think it's really pretty, and it goes really well with the book. You can use a greeting card as a bookmark. That would be really pretty. And it already has a thing that you can put, like you can sandwich a broad ribbon. You can cut this down in half and use it that way. You can use a postcard. Here's a tag you can use. You can use one of her little writing papers, a piece of receipt, anything really that you like. You can use a plain background and just do a collage of flowers all over it, and then you can put a saying on there, you know, anything that you particularly like. You can take a pocket and you can cut off the tabs and just fold it in half, and you can actually make a little pouch bookmark that you can, oh, that's kind of cool, that you can put something in and have your ribbon come out of it. That's really pretty. Anyway, yes, okay. I also got from Red Apron Vintage these really cool, there's the same card in green, and then there's some, that's upside down, Sakura cards that I got from her as well. So she has all types of ephemeras and boxes and home decor and books and, oh, just everything. She finds the coolest vintage stuff. And then I am simply going to attach the ribbon straight through the charm. It's going to be a pretty simple bookmark. I'm not going to use all of those fancy findings and jewelry things and stuff like that. Although I think I'm going to put an extra O-ring on this one so that when this goes around, it will still hang straight like this instead of going like that sideways. So let me go get one of those and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just made a really long point on my ribbon and just used my pokey tool here and stuffed it through the bead. And that worked really, really well. This bead has, the inside is hollow, so maybe it might work without having to try to thread it onto a needle or something. So maybe I can just kind of stuff it in here and then pull it out the other side. Be careful if you do this, you don't accidentally poke through and get yourself on the other side of the hole. Don't stab yourself on accident. And you probably will have to, if your ribbon is finicky like mine, where it has the satin part and the sheer part, you might have to cut your ends off after you put it through each bead. So keep that in mind if you are short on length. Don't want to eat it up just putting it through a bead. See, these are the types of things that I never see on people's crafting and beading and journaling videos. I'm sure they have them on there somewhere, but usually they just kind of edit them out and want you to think that, oh, it went on there perfectly. Look what I did. Well, no, it didn't go on there perfectly. And look what I did. So, yeah. Now we'll put the cloisonne bead. I'm just really happy that I was able to get the neat spacer beads through there. I think it adds a nice detail interest. And of course you could just do a tassel on the end. You could just knot it up. You could put a bell on the end. Anything. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I just like a lot of detail type stuff. This one might be a little bit more difficult. My pokey tool there is too big. Let's try my broken paper piercer. See, that works perfectly. I just could not throw the end poker part away. And I figured I can still kind of use it, just use pliers as the handle. I pulled it back out. No, I didn't. Okay. This one might take a little bit to push into the other side because this one is also hollow on the inside. So make sure if you have hollow beads, guys, don't accidentally squeeze them too hard or use your pliers to hold them because you could very easily crush them. Okay, there is just too much of an open cavity in here. I can't get it to come out through the other hole. So I just threaded partial bit of the ribbon through. And that way I can get enough through to grab and pull. Ta-da! And let's see if this hole is bigger on this one. It is. Okay, it does not want to accommodate all of that ribbon at once, so off there you go. And we'll poke you through. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to add an extra O-ring on here. So that the charm on the end doesn't turn sideways. Looks pretty cool. And then I'm going to loop it through here. Normally, if this was thinner, I would bring it all the way back through these guys. And then I would actually have this like a double strand thing where it would end up being like that, and then I would have it secured behind there. But because the ribbon is thick and the charms don't have I don't want to try to fuss and fight with maneuvering this back through the smaller holes. So I don't just want to put a knot. I think maybe I'll just sew it. Just trim that nicely or glue it. I think I might just glue it. So what I'm going to do here is I trimmed the end off really nicely, and then I'm going to fold the end over itself so that it's less likely to fray, and then you have a nice rounded edge. You can also use a hot glue gun, or you can do my initial thought of just getting a thread and needle and just doing a couple back and forth stitches over it. Would secure it really well. Do I want to do that? Or do I just want to use the glue? Okay, I'm going to sew it just to be on the safe side. And I'm going to use the same gold thread that I used on the wool. That's too much thread. I'm going to use the same gold thread that I used on the binding for the book. Okay. And I'm going to hide my knot on the inside. Trim off the tails. Okay, and then I just did a couple stitches on the ends, one in the middle, and just a couple along there. And then I will tie it off on, hopefully on the inside. And I mean, it's not perfect or the best, but it'll do. It's handmade. I don't mind if my stuff actually looks handmade. So there's that. If you're concerned about it, you can put some white glue or something on there. I am going to pull the spacer not quite down to it. And then I'm going to have a little bit of space in between my beads. Like that. And then I'm going to take this, and let's see how long I would like my ribbon to be, because I want this playing card is going to be the bookmark, and then this will hang over the top. So a little long. approximately right there. And also, I do not want this to hang out the bottom. You could obviously have this hang out this way as well as the top. Something like that. You could put little jingle bells on here, chimey bells. You could put a little dragon charm, anything of that nature, and or an Asian coin would be pretty cool. Ooh, a coin. I'll be right back again. Okay, I got my coin box. Let's see if I have any that will match. Come on. They have the cool holes in them. Drats. I do not. Oh, what's this? This is not Oriental. Rats. Well, okay. Time to look in the non-real bin. I have real ones somewhere. I know I do. If anything, they're from my mother, who is not Asian, but I know she had some Oriental coins. So I'll be right back and look in the non-real box of stuff. Okay, look what I found in my bin. I think these would look really cute. One of these on the end of it. I'm gonna go with this one, I think, because are these the same? Oh, these are the same. Cool. Actually, do I want to go, with one of the bigger ones? I kind of like this big one. I think I'm gonna go with that. And I just got done having dinner. Tonight's dinner, I made ground beef, and I seasoned it with the Lipton onion soup packets, and I cooked that in some beef broth and Worcester sauce. You know, none of us can pronounce that, but anyway. And I made bow tie pasta, which I boiled in water and beef broth as well, a 50-50 mix. And then I made some mushrooms, some of the white mushrooms, like the button mushrooms. I cooked those in butter and pink Himalayan salt and garlic powder and stuff, and then I mixed it all together with cream of mushroom soup, just straight out of the can. Nothing extra added for that. And then I mixed all of that together, and then I baked it in a casserole dish, and it came out really, really yummy. Was a little thick, so next time I might add some more beef broth before I put it in the oven. But I thought it was pretty tasty. And Mr. Moonfire went back for seconds, and my dad really liked it. My daughter was not here for it. She's out right now, but hopefully she'll get what's left over in the dish, and she should like it. So I just like cooking. So I'm just gonna tie this with a knot and leave that like a simple dangle at the bottom. And because this does fray, I'm going to put some glue on the ends to help seal it a little bit. You could use a lighter and burn it, but sometimes I tend to get little charred chunky bits, and I don't really like that. To me, it takes away from things, from the look of it. So we'll just do that. And then, like I said, I want this to hang, whoops, I want the coin to hang out of the bottom. And this will loop around. Make sure everything is the correct side facing front, how you want it to be. Make sure your ribbon's not twisted, so about like that. And then we can put it on the playing card. So I think right about there should be pretty good. And I'm going to open my new tape. Yay! I love this tape. I get it from Temu. I think it is wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to put a piece on the back of here, as centered as best I can. there. And then what I will do is decorate the back side. I thought about putting this on the back, but it's bigger than the playing card, and I didn't want to cut any of it down. So I'm going to look for something else. That might be pretty. Or that. Have a little writing spot on the back of it. I like that guy. But I kind of want him for a tag on stuff. There's that cool guy. The good thing with these is you can always print out more. Oh, the key on the back's kind of cool, don't you think? Because I have this key to put on the inside. Or something. I think I really like this one here. So yeah, I'm just going to cut part of the bottom off so that this line goes straight across. And then that way I don't have to worry about cutting where the ribbon is. And then up here, take mark. I'm going to use the fabric tack because the playing card has a slick surface and I don't feel like sanding it down. The double-sided tape will actually adhere really nicely to it, but just because it's going to be handled a fair amount, I'm going to use the liquid glue. And this way, if I'm not totally centered, I can move it. I have time to move my paper around. There we go, and then we'll just trim the overhang. And if you wanted to, you could ink the edges, which I might go back and do a little bit later, but not right now. Okay, so there we have it. Our Oriental themed dragon bookmark. There you go. And then if you wanted to, like you were going to put this on a shelf or something and you didn't want it hanging down or out, you can, and also if you needed to save 2 pages, just wrap that back up around in there. And there it is. All complete. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time and got some inspiration. And don't forget to check out Rickety Snippets and Red Apron Vintage. And I will see you guys the next time. Thanks everyone. Bye. Craft happy.